The election of 2024 is over. The people have spoken, and you chose who you felt was the better man for the job, although a woman was running. Elections have consequences, and surely this was the most consequential election in recent history. Maybe not in American history, because I wasn't born in the 1700s, 1800s, but in recent history, this is the most. And I wanted to focus today on this Unplugged on concession speeches and how the response to concession speeches used to be opposed to how they are today. We will never have the type of speeches that I'm going to play. Get ready for this episode of Unplugged. Hello, everybody. This is me, Sirwalterj Jones, and this is another episode of Unplugged. We try to air these every night around 9 o'clock Central Standard Time when there's time. But today I wanted to focus on something a little more peaceful and unifying, and it is called the concession speech. And every presidential candidate or lame duck president, whoever it is, typically would give those speeches to welcome the new administration coming in, and the phone calls are made, and it is a wonderful, peaceful transfer of power until Donald Trump became the president of the United States in 2016, and it was his idea to stay the president until he died, and that was something that he said out of his own mouth, that you don't have to vote for me ever again because I will be in here forever, as if his life will last forever. And so when he did lose the presidency 2020, he did not give a concession speech. He gave a speech and basically said, honestly, I did win the election. And from that moment on, it was steal. They stole the election. And if he had lost this bid, it would have been based off of the Democrats stealing the election again. So there would not going to be any concession whatsoever from Donald Trump until the day he dies. There are no more. But the problem here is not so much Donald Trump. The problem is the people and what the Republican Party turned into. I was a member of that party, a registered Republican, great values, until we got these MAGA Republicans, which is a different type of Republican Party. And I would think in history there are three types of Republican parties. There's the Republican Party of Lincoln, and then came the switch. Then it became that Republican Party we know after the 1964, Civil Rights Bill, and we get this different type of Republican, which is the yesterday's Democratic Party, the party of racism. And people say, well, we're not racist, and why would you say all these things? Well, when you get the Proud Boys and you got Nazi sympathizers and Hitler-esque folks who are supporting your party, they go to all of your rallies. When they feel so comfortable being among you, what does that say? And when you often have to say, I am not a racist, you probably are. So the Republican Party, the third party, is the MAGA party. Trump is the fascist king behind that new party. And it is amazing what they've turned into. And so I'm going to show you the Republican Party of old, so that you could compare the Republican Party of today. George Bush Sr. ran a campaign and he won after he was the vice president of Ronald Reagan. And he ran again after his first term against Bill Clinton. Well, George served one term, unfortunately. And he gave a concession speech in 1992 at the Western Hotel in Houston. And I'm going to play that now. And I want you to pay close attention to the people. And it's not so much the speech and the man, but I'm doing this to give you a comparison, or to show you a comparison of the responses of the Republicans, the supporters and the voters of times gone by.
Thank you very much. Hey, listen, you guys. Hey. Thank you very much. Look. Thank you so much. Well, here's the way I see it. Here's the way we see it, and the country should see it, that the people have spoken, and we respect the majesty of the democratic system. I just called Governor Clinton over in Little Rock and offered my congratulations. He did run a strong campaign. I wish him well in the White House, and I want the country to know that our entire administration will work closely with his team to ensure the smooth transition of power. There is important work to be done, and America must always come first. So we will get behind this new president and wish him well. And to all who voted for us, voted for me, here, especially here, but all across the country, thank you for your support. And we have fought the good fight, and we've kept the faith, and I believe I have upheld the honor of the presidency of the United States. That we stand behind our new president, and regardless of our differences, all Americans share the same purpose, to make this, the world's greatest nation, more safe and more secure, and to guarantee every American a shot at the American dream. And I would like to thank so many of you who have worked beside me to improve America.
That was George Bush Sr. And notice the response in the background. There were some clapping. There were some who didn't clap because, you know, it's a hard defeat, and I get it. It's just your typical emotional response. The next person after this, because after Clinton won, he served 2 terms, and then George Bush Jr. became the president of the United States because Clinton's vice president. It was neck and neck, won the popular vote, but yet George Bush won the presidency, even though it took forever for us to find out who won. And then George Bush Jr. served 2 terms, and then there was a peaceful transfer of power to Barack Obama, and he served 2 terms, and then there was a peaceful transfer of power from Barack Obama to Donald Trump. All right, now. But let's go back to the Obama years when there was John McCain. John McCain is in one of his rallies, and they were asking him questions, and they were pushing against Barack Obama being a citizen of the United States. And the gentleman-like response from John McCain tells us that this is the last we may ever see such clean politics.
We're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency, and I'll tell you why. I'm concerned about someone that cohorts with domestic terrorists such as Ayers.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as President of the United States. Now,
Now notice the booze, notice the no way, and I need you to see how he controls the room.
Now look, I
got to ask you a question. I do not I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. It was October 10, 2008. And notice how when that crazy old lady said what she said, that the response on the faces of the people was like, ooh, did you actually say that? That, I think, was the last time we've ever seen such clean politics from the Republican Party. And then John McCain gives this most humbling concession speech in 2008. And notice how the audience try to push up against him, but yet they can't do nothing but say, you know what? I think you're right. Let's go back. All right, let's stop the music here just in case there's some copyright issues here.
For coming here on this beautiful Arizona evening. My friends, we have come to the end of a long journey. The American people have spoken, and they have spoken clearly. A little while ago, I had the honor of calling Senator Barack Obama to congratulate him, to congratulate him on being elected the next president of the country that we both love. In a contest as long and difficult as this campaign has been, his success alone commands my respect for his ability and perseverance. But that he managed to do so by inspiring the hopes of so many millions of Americans who had once wrongly believed that they had little at stake or little influence in the election of an American president is something I deeply admire and commend him for achieving. This is an historic election, and I recognize the special significance it has for African Americans and for the special pride that must be theirs tonight. I've always believed that America offers opportunities to all who have the industry and will to seize it. Senator Obama believes that too. But we both recognize that though we have come a long way from the old injustices that once stained our nation's reputation and denied some Americans the full blessings of American citizenship, the memory of them still had the power to wound. A century ago, President Theodore Roosevelt's invitation of Booker T. Washington to dine at the White House was taken as an outrage in many quarters. America today is a world away from the cruel and prideful bigotry of that time. There is no better evidence of this than the election of an African American to the presidency of the United States. Let there be no reason now. Let there be no reason now for any American to fail to cherish their citizenship in this, the greatest nation on earth. Senator Obama has achieved a great thing for himself and for his country. I applaud him for it and offer him my sincere sympathy that his beloved grandmother did not live to see this day. Though our faith assures us she is at rest in the presence of her Creator, and so very proud of the good man she helped raise. Senator Obama and I have had and argued our differences, and he has prevailed. No doubt many of those differences remain. These are difficult times for our country, and I pledge to him tonight to do all in my power to help him lead us through the many challenges we face. I urge all Americans who supported me to join me in not just congratulating him, but offering our next president our goodwill and earnest effort to find ways to come together, to find the necessary compromises, to bridge our differences, and help restore our prosperity defend our security in a dangerous world, and leave our children and grandchildren a stronger, better country than we inherited. Whatever our differences, we are fellow Americans. And please believe me when I say, no association has ever meant more to me than that.
Wow. Powerful. We will probably never see that kind of concession ever again, at least from the Republican Party. I don't know if we'll ever see it. And those people got to a point where they had to clap. They were clapping based off of their guilt. And it's so powerful. And McCain became the guy who did this. When it came to saving the repealing of Obamacare, he did this to save it. Those men were friends, and Barack Obama even spoke at McCain's funeral. That kind of camaraderie and bipartisanship has all but died in American government. And I pray that it return, but I don't know. Because for the next 4 years, this man will have the power and the ability to raise up a nation, or more so a generation of men and women, to push more and allow and coddle the hatred that is in us all. We all are susceptible to be very hateful people. But because he's got almost ultimate power in government, all of the guardrails are basically have dissipated, they're gone. He can lead this nation into a totalitarian state. Except the Lord keep this nation and place it in his hands, then all we're doing is fighting and crying for nothing. So this is a great time to be alive as a believer. All of us now can come together and build our churches. And I'm not talking about the building, but our churches as individuals. The body of Christ can be strengthened now because the world now needs us. The nation is crying. They're suffering. And a woman came to me Sunday after service, after I spoke, and said, we're hurting. We're hurting. We're hurting. And so now it's time for us. We have the wonderful opportunity to express our ambassadorship in from heaven to this nation. We're just passing through. So now we can be a strength to them by going out there and helping and serving and volunteering and seeing who are in need. First of all, put the oxygen mask on yourself, because you can't help anybody if you can't help yourself. Pull back on your spending. And I'd like for you all to go over to patreon.com and sign up to the finance room. And each day, as long as we can, we'll be talking about personal finances and things that you can do to show up and put up your guardrails that you feel is going to be taken down based off of this administration. Don't worry. Don't be fretful. For the faith that's in you is stronger than anything that's outside of you. Just know that. Listen, thank y'all for coming. Subscribe to the channel and join us. We're back. I love you all. Be of good courage. My brothers and sisters, take care. Sirwalterj, Unplugged.